Hi everyone, this is a video tutorial just for parents to give you some tips and tricks on reading and just a reminder of some of the things that we need to do when we're reading. So if you can make sure your children are reading today's independently, I just wanted to use it as an example just for you to see what we need to be doing. So this is one of the caption cards that have been posted today. Before we start, we're going to have a look at if there are any tricky words in it. Now, I know as teachers, I can remember all the tricky words off the top of my head, but you might not be familiar. So the first thing I recommend doing each morning is looking at what the caption is and just reminding yourself of the tricky words. As you can see here, I've got them up alongside my my caption so I can refer to them as I need them. So I'm just reading my sentence ourselves. The sentence is the dog put on the socks. Looking at the tricky word, and I know that the tricky word "the" is one of the tricky words that I've got in my sentence today. So before I start reading with the child, I say to the child, "Oh, we've got some tricky words in this sentence. Can you see any of the tricky words?" And they might straight away say "the" or whatever, for example. If they don't recognise them, you can say, "Oh, look at this, at the beginning of our sentence, we've got a tricky word. This one's got a capital, but we know it's a little t. So let's have a little look. Here's an example. Can you find that? Is that a tricky word? Can you have a look and find it on the map for me?" Your child can then use the tricky word map to find the word, and you can ask them, "What is that tricky word?" Hopefully your child for the phase 2 tricky words should know them all, and they might say that. If it's the phase 3 tricky word, it might need one that they need refreshing with, and I will post a series of links afterwards for some songs and helpful games and things for tricky words and segmenting and blending. So if you find that they don't know any of the phase 3 tricky words, make sure we're practicing them at home. So for phase 2, it's a phase 2 tricky word, the. You need to say, great, so when we see this word and this word, we need to remember that the word is the, and we're not going to try and segment these because we can't sound them out. Then you need to make sure that your child is independently segmenting and blending. For example, they should first look at each sound separately. In this one, d, g. You might want to use your robot arms, which are arms that the children are familiar with. They move up and down like a robot each time they say a word. So, d, g, dog. Okay? They'll then move on to the next word and so on and so on. Remembering when they get to this word, they should not segment. They will just say the word, remembering it's a tricky word. Now, we need to remember that we have digraphs in these words. So, a digraph is two letters that make up one sound. So if we have a look here in the word socks, we've only got 4 sounds, although there are 5 letters. So we've got s, k, which is the C and the K together to make the digraph k, s. So when we are segmenting, we need to remind our children, oh, there's a digraph here, can you spot it? If they can go, yep, it's k. Brilliant. If they don't recognise it, you might need a little reminder. Oh, this is a digraph just by here. Can you remember what sound this digraph makes? And point it out to them. If they're struggling with it, just remind them of it, okay? So, we need to make sure they are segmenting as independently as possible, or at least having a go. And blending. We need to make sure we are identifying tricky words. We're pointing out digraphs before we start the word. And we also need to make sure that we are modelling the language correctly. So, for example, one of the things I need to remind you of, these are some caption cards from last week. If we have a look at this one in the middle, and more particularly at this little one here, okay? This is a word on its own, and the word is a, okay? So when we're segmenting and blending and we come across this letter, it's an a. For example, we would say v, a, n. We wouldn't say v, a, n, because that's a different sound altogether. But we need to remind our children, oh, it's an a on its own without any friends, so it's an a. Now, we've practiced this lots and lots and lots in school, so it should be drilled into them, but we cannot accept the children saying a van down the road. Okay? It's got to be a van down the road. Or I've got a carrot on my plate, or what. Other thing I wanted to show you and explain was how I've slightly changed what I've uploaded this week for reading. So I've posted 2 photos on the post about the reading task last night. I have posted the first caption, which as you can see is in a blue border. We expect everybody to try and read these for us. If your child is able to read this fluently, for example, they don't really need much time to segment and blend, or they're able to look at it and go, the dog put on the socks. They may segment or blend to, you know, small parts there. But if they're reading it quite confidently and fluently, then you can move on to the second picture, which has the second caption card onto it. And it has a purple border. Now I'll be uploading one blue and one purple every day, and you can have a go at reading these. Remembering in here, in the purple, there are likely to be many more digraphs. So you'll need to point these out just before your child reads the word. So can you see the digraph here? We've got ow, ow, remember, in this word, it is separate to the it's not a trigraph, it's just a digraph. Qu, e, remember you've got 2 digraphs there as well. So it's just important to make sure that you yourselves are familiar with the digraphs in the words before we ask the children to try and read them. Now, if your child has been able to read the blue and has segmented the purple, please make sure you can either film one long video of them reading both, if they're nice, quick and fluent in there, or you can upload just a single video of them trying to read this one. Now, if you're trying to read this one and they are really struggling to segment and blend these digraphs, it means it's probably a little bit too tricky for them. So stick to uploading a video of this, and the teachers can judge how they're doing and give you some advice if they need to intervene. So yes, just make sure you're uploading one video for us so we can make sure that they're reading at a suitable level. Okay, as I said earlier, I will create a pack for you with some nice segmenting and blending ideas and some songs for tricky words and things like that. So if you need it, then you will be able to have a little bit more of a resource bank to practice on specific areas. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions about reading, just give me a message and I'm sure I'll try my best to answer you as quickly as I can. Okay, so hope that helps. Any questions, as I said, just give me a message on Dojo. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you soon. Bye.